In today's rapidly evolving world, the ability to learn, adapt, and innovate is more crucial than ever. Yet, traditional educational systems often fall short in equipping us with the skills we need to thrive in this 21st century. Beyond the confines of the classroom, this overlooked crisis has far-reaching implications for individuals, communities, and society as a whole. What's up? What's up? Another day leveled up. It's your boy Salem, back with another one for you. So today we're getting into the magic ingredient that God has blessed us with to acquire any skill, to master that skill, and allow our expression to flow through that skill. This is the second video in the Blueprint to Mastery playlist, so make sure you're watching these in the succinct order. So let's get into it. What is myelin? Let's dive deep. Myelin is the insulation that wraps the nerve fibers and increases signal strength, speed, and accuracy in our brains. Every human movement, thought, and feeling is precisely timed. An electrical signal travels through a chain of neurons, a circuit of nerve fibers. So the more we fire particular circuits, the more myelin is ran through that circuit, and the more fluent and fast our actions become. So think of myelin as like high-speed internet. You can't play the video games that you want to play. You can't watch and stream the videos and movies that you want to stream on low-speed dial-up internet. So as time has gone on, society has grown and learned how to allow us to have 4G, 5G towers around, which I'm not always a big fan of, but these towers also allow this internet connection to be super lightning fast. You know, we have lightning cables that charge our iPhones and other technologies. Myelin in our brain gives our brain the capacity to regulate the velocity of these nerve fibers and the firing of them, to either speed them up or to slow them down so that they fire at the perfect time. So our nerve firings and the ability and the speed of them is what actually skill comes down to. It's the level of speed that we can fire those nerve fibers in our brain that it is muscle memory to us. You know, we're not even thinking about it. We've done it so many times that it's just a natural response in our brains. So when it comes down to it, speed really is skill. You can't have the speed to do any certain type of action, perform any type of feat, be a gymnast, be a football player, a basketball player, without the hours put in for that speed to be there. So myelin is universal, does not discriminate on any skill that you want to acquire. It also does not unwrap. We all hopefully learned how to ride a bike growing up. The skills of learning how to ride that bike did not leave us. But getting back into it, we might be rusty, what you want to call it. So the nerve fibers are just not firing as fast as they once did, what they once did before. So you can develop more myelin in that direction. So say I love to snowboard now. I was not great. I had no skills of snowboarding, but I put in the time and effort to learn how to carve on my edges and ride switch. And every time I go, I get better and better because I'm bridging that gap on where I've come from, where I'm trying to go. So in the book, The Talent Code, it gives a lot of examples of different people through history that have acquired skills that were pretty much trash to start with. One of them being the Bronte sisters. They are great authors. I have not read any of their works, but apparently they were trash at writing and authoring books when they first started. You could also go into the skateboard era when skateboarding became popular. None of those kids really knew how to pull off any of those tricks. Tony Hawk, a lot of those guys who started early out, what they did was practice in empty swimming pools. They practiced so much, they fell a lot because they're practicing at the edge of their abilities. But when it came time to perform, people were blown away because these dudes put in so much time and effort. In the book Mastery by Robert Greene, he goes in more in depth on how these craft guilds were set up, and he gives an example on how Leonardo da Vinci went through these craft guilds and studied behind these prolific artists. And it got to a point where he loved learning so much and practicing that he, into his older age, just became a life consultant, pretty much a life coach at that time for all the townsmen, all the kings and queens at that time. And it's a great example of how one could go about mastering certain facets of life, but even on the more grand scale on how to master life and just recognizing the patterns so you can become more of a consultant and a life coach if you wanted to. When I think about that, I think about Gary Vee for some reason, because a lot of rappers and a lot of different people come to Gary Vee. He would show and get advice on how just to better their career and how to blow up their business. And Gary Vee may have not been a rapper, but he knew the inner workings on how to be successful. He recognized the patterns. He studied his craft. He started with wine library and blew up his father's liquor store business, and now he has Gainer Media? Gary Vee Media, I don't know what it's called. The greatest work of art anyone can construct is the architecture of their own talent. Wisdom, when it comes down to it, is just doing very complicated processing on many levels. That's what I feel when I bring up Gary Vee is doing. He's recognizing the patterns. He has the wisdom to process where these people are, where they're going, what skills they need to acquire, what they need to be doing on social media, how to just become a better person and become a master in their craft and not just someone who likes it and is a fan of that craft. Knowing how this nerve fiber myelin works is crucial to know because we live in unprecedented times right now where things are moving so fast that we can be left behind. We no longer have the luxury that our grandparents had of not learning how internet works, not being on social media. We're going to have to learn how these things work because this is going to be a part of our life. Robotics, AI will be integrated in our lives before we know it. Things are moving so fast. And this is not to scare anyone. This is to instill confidence in you that you are capable of learning any skill and mastering that skill. So if you want to become one of the most prolific speakers, you want to be great at singing, writing, building a robot and AI, you can do that. It may take some time, but knowing that we are gifted with this nerve fiber by the grace of God to learn whatever it is that we want to learn and become a master at it, this should fire you up. It should only fire you up. In the next video, we're going to go over the 3 rules of deep practice on how to go about getting to the mastery point and how to get there in the fastest way possible. Like always, if you resonated with this video, if you got anything from this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next one. And know always that a belief may be comforting, but only their true experiences have become liberating. Grant yourself permission to level up. Until next time, it's your boy Salem. I'm out.